Good morning.
Hello.
Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian.
I'm Lauren.
And this is the weekend workout where we invite you to play with your body weight strength. The class here is called Crows, Crawls, and Pistol Squats, I think. So with Lauren doing her best animal impersonations, we'll follow along to strengthen our core and have fun on this Saturday. We have our balance aid. We'll use that just shortly. I'll be taking the lead on the warm-up here. Beautiful leg kicks there, Lauren. And we'll do head rotations, T-spine rotations, and then Lauren will pick it up with those feet and hips. So at the chin tuck, making sure we can breathe. Chin tuck first, and then the chin flex or neck flex, chin towards that top of sternum. From there, look across that clavicle as I look to my right to Lauren there, and then look up the wall. And look up the wall to the ceiling, and then rotate along the ceiling until you're in center. And then pull the crown high, chin tuck down, chin towards that sternum. Then rotate across that clavicle to the shoulder, looking up the wall till the wall becomes a ceiling and looking straight overhead, and then pull the crown up nice and high to reset on the horizon. Repeat in the other direction. So this time we'll go extension first. Casually look up towards the ceiling with the nose. Then out to the original side, I choose my right here as I go down. Looking down the wall, the chin to the clavicle. Clavicle meets the sternum. And then pulling down again, extending the neck to up. And then last time here, look out to the side, down the wall. And then lastly, finishing center and pull down on the neck to go up. Opposites do help in this practice quite a bit. We'll replicate that same rotation at the head neck there through this rib cage or T-spine. I do like having my hands across my body for this one. It starts with a modest chin tuck first. Then with the shoulders squeezing together, round that upper back over top of those hips, but keep the shoulder blades tight. From here, I'll rotate to the right. Then I'll do my side bend to the back corner. Lift up and over that imaginary hurdle, and then return through the middle with a chin tuck. And then that flexing shape through the rib cage. Rotate the other direction this time. Side bend to the new back corner, then up and over to the back, and then return into center. This time we'll go up and over, so up and over through center first, then rotate to the new corner, side bend, and now we're circling all the way to the front. And those rules of opposites, pull the rib cage down to stabilize that extension or up. And then one last time here, we've extended, we'll rotate, we'll side bend, and that last circular shape to the front. And Lauren here will be pulling down on the abdominals to lift up through that T-spine. Add the shake, add the wiggle, test your shield always. And Lauren's gonna take this over now with the feet and hips.
Feet and hips. Let's do both at the
today.
same time. Thank you, my moves are beautiful. Let's do both at the same time, interestingly enough. So we'll use our balance aid to take balance out of the equation and stand tall on that inside leg, making sure as we go that inside leg cheek is squeezed so much it starts to burn. Take the outside leg and point it to the front. With our pointed foot, your toes are pointed. Now I want you to flex your foot, but I want your ankle to lead the action versus leading with those toes reaching up to the nose. Let's do that again. Point the foot, and then ankle does the flex, push the heel away. Next, keep this flex position and rotate the femur open or external rotation, inseam up. Then keeping the hips level, rotate that femur bone internally. Then rotate it open again, and we'll send that leg to the side, keeping that foot flexed, hips push forward, standing leg squeezed. Next, point the foot again. Your toe should tap the floor, that's about the distance we want. Then flex the foot, lead with the ankle. Do that again, point the foot. Flex the foot, lead with the ankle. Turn the femur bone in, hiding the inseam. Turn it open. Turn it in again, keep your knees straight. Then with that straight leg, return the leg underneath inseams together. Next, take that same leg, point the leg to the front. Rotate the leg open. Send it to the side, hips forward. Reach down into the basement. Turn the femur into internal rotation, and then touch the floor the whole time as the leg returns underneath. Repeat that quarter circle again, front. Open inseam up. Leg goes side. Leg turns in. inseams together. Now 2 in the other direction. Leg to the side, point, reach, touch the floor the whole time. Rotate the leg open, send the leg to the front. Then you'll have to unrotate the leg, kneecap forward, return underneath. You should be doing this all with both straight legs. Reach to the side, rotate open, send the leg to the front, unrotate, pull, returning the leg underneath. That cheek is burned.
Burned.
Switch sides.
Switch in.
Shake it out. Same thing on the other side. First our flex and our dorsiflex foot. So tall on that inside leg, square to the front, point. Flex the foot, lead with the ankle. Point the foot. Flex the foot, keeping your belt line level. Rotate the leg open. And then rotate the leg in. Rotate the leg open. We're going to do it one more time each way because I want to. Rotate the leg in. Then rotate the leg open, inseam forward, send the leg to the side, keeping that flex foot and hips level. Next, point the foot. Then flex. And point. And flex. And then with that flex foot, the inseam turns in. And then we externally rotate that femur, opening it up. Turn it in. Tall on the inside leg. Turn it open. One last time, turn it in, and both legs stay straight as the leg comes underneath. 2 quarter circles in each direction, point to the front. Leg opens up, leg goes side, then turn in, straight leg under. One more time, front, open femur, side, internal rotation, touch the floor under. Now keep that connection to the floor as you reach to the side. Rotate open, send the leg to the front, unrotate and under. Last time, we're still tall in that standing leg as we reach to the side. Open up, send the leg around the front, unrotate, pull, underneath, growing up nice and tall. Squeeze those cheeks, extend the hips.
Squeeze those cheeks. We'll be taking that balance aid off to the side. We may use that by the end of class again today. And as we transition to the floor to warm up wrists, let's just gently introduce our toe squat. Starting with the feet in parallel, just underneath of those hips, knees towards over those toes. Press the hips forward to full stand. Repeat, knees over toes, as if you're pulling your feet behind you for stability, and then press forward to stand tall. This time, let's challenge our first toe balance here. Maybe we do have that balance aid off to the side if you need it. And with Lauren's straight knees cues, let's slowly return the heels to the floor with kneecaps that are pulled up. Now let's go knees over toes. Now this time, get lower and slowly peel those heels off the ground. Then stand up on those toe points, hold your balance, and reset. This time we'll end up on the floor. Knees over toes with those heels staying flat. Then the heels slowly peel up, helping us to get lower. And with the hands, or without, place the knees down, push the hips through with our butt squeeze, add our shake, add our wiggle, adjust as we can, and a quick wrist warm up here. The hips go back, maintaining the cow tip in the hip, and land fingers, calluses, then the full hand. Adjust as you need. Cues for our hand balances include fingertips facing forward, blood donations facing forward, and armpits for this moment that are pulling down to those hips. Without moving, keep the low back in the cow-like shape, but pull the hands towards the knees. Did you feel your abs start? By pulling hands towards knees, it may allow us to lean forward or extend on the wrist. Then push the hands forward. Keep your tailbone tipped like cow or that anterior tip of the hip as you push forward and your butt goes back. Repeat, pull the hands to knees, but this time as we go forward, we might slowly tuck under those hips, more like our plank shape. Then as you press forward, tip the tailbone back like our cow and breathe. One more time, forward. Pull the hands to the knees. Perhaps tuck under those hips like our plank's core shape. Then this time, press the floor away, push the hips through, and add that little shake. Wrist extension this time, but fingertips face the knees. So, like before, land with those fingertips, callus lines, and then full hands. Lightly here, maybe even against the wall if this is very intense. Look between those hands and press the fingertips on the pinkies into the ground, and then relax. And do the same thing on those ring fingers, pressing ring fingers and then relaxing. Do the same thing with the middle finger. Small move, intense on the forearm flexors, perhaps here, and relax.
Index.
And then the index, press the index and also relax that. Never forget those thumbs, so press those thumbs as well. And now press all 10 fingers. Press all 10 fingers and try to bend those elbows. Personally, mine don't very much, but then I'll bend the elbows and flick the floor away, like Spider-Man, and then add our shake and wiggle there. We'll come back to hands and some shoulders, but first, just some hips perhaps there. Lauren, what do you have in store?
Hips. Well,
the lunge.
I know, I was ready to do some cores. Thought you were going to throw it next. Into that lunge position here. Leg is in front, vertical shin, both in line with each hip. Next, let's take our bowl of punch hips and slowly just do a light circle or hula at the hips. As you do a hula with your hips, can you think about keeping your shoulders relatively stationary and keeping both femur bones, we've gone two one way, let's go to the other, and keeping your femur bones relatively stationary. So you're almost moving your pelvis around the leg bones. Then come back to center. Let's tuck under that back butt cheek. Let's take that front leg and pull it in the socket so the femur's reaching to the back wall here. As I feel that tension, I'm pulling on my front leg and pressing my back leg forward. Hold that for a couple seconds. Now stay in the exact same position, but change the tension, pushing forward in your front leg and back in your back. And what you might notice is that you push so much, you could hover off the floor for 3, 2, and then down, or not. Did you hover?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. And then get back to that pull together for a couple seconds. Keep that tension pulling together as you heel toe the leg to the side. Once the leg's out the side, same idea. Keep that leg pulled in, that back hip extended. Now pull so much on this leg that we're going to drift knee towards over toe, but keep extending this back hip forward. As I push into the floor to go back to tall, this hip extends, extends, extends. One more time. Pull. Keep that extended and squeezed. And then press back, hips forward. Next, heel toe the leg to the front, zip it underneath, and we'll repeat on the other side. Other leg up, we have our bowl of punch hips. Femurs staying stationary, upper body staying relatively stationary. Try to circle that pelvis around, reaching to the corners, and then 2 in the other direction. Can you scoop out at all the corners of the room? Is this side easier or harder?
Harder.
Me too. Then let's stay tucked under that back leg. Drive down in the front leg, pulling it in. So this hip is coming forward, this leg is pulling in. Your butts would be on the same level behind you versus being open. Now push forward and back, push forward and back. Does that give you enough tension to press up off the floor for 3, 2, and then soft landing? Great. Keep that tension pulling and extending that back hip as you open the leg to the side. Once it's at that 10 or 2 position, extended hip, level, pull, drift, knee towards over toe. Keep this pressing forward. Then press back to tall, hip stays extended. Again, pull yourself forward. And then press back to tall. We'll heel toe that leg to the front, zip it underneath. And next,
really quickly revisiting those hands. We'll get to that crow in just a second as well. But first, quick shoulder blades. Let's land with those fingers, calluses, hands. We're on all 4s here, or all 6s if you include those knees. And start with retracted shoulder blades together. From there, elevate the shoulders as to shrug to the ears. Now keep the spine quiet as it doesn't move, but press the shoulders into the floor, meaning protracting those shoulder blades around the rib cage. Then pull to the hips, that means down. Retract again, squeezing the blades together. Then elevate the shoulders in a shrug. Keep the upper back quiet and you're wrapping the blades around the rib cage, and then pull down to the hips. From pulling down to the hips, let's return the other way. So we're pressing into the floor now to wrap the blades around the body. Then elevate or shrug the shoulders. Pull the shoulders together in retraction. And one last time, down to the hips. Press into the floor to protect that shoulder. You have 2. Then elevate, shrugging, retract, squeezing a pencil, and then press the floor away. Shake out those hands. And now I think it's time for those core warm-ups, Lauren, those hollow body holds from the floor.
Excellent. Let's lie on our back.
Get there.
Don't get too comfortable.
Oh, I might just go to sleep, though.
No.
Okay.
You won't want to after what I described.
All right.
All right. Right now, our feet are just flat on the floor. Let's take this step by step. Feet are flat on the floor. Chin is tucked. Palms are at your side, face up. Or arms are at your side, palms face up. Next, just check in with what's touching the floor. I have my tailbone, if you will, or sacrum on the floor. Then I have that kind of upper back brow line and head. My low back is not arched off the floor, but it's also not jamming into the floor. So I want to keep that neutral position in my belly/low back. Next, I want to take my head and my shoulders and imagining that somebody's pulling me up to the ceiling as I lift my head and my shoulders off the floor. But as you did that and as you're holding here, as your low back maintains that same place because you pulled your abs in order to lift up and then control down to your back. What I'm defining here, this means it's not a crunch. Let's repeat again. Pull that rib cage, hips off the floor. Either stay here or let's bring those knees up over top of our hips and hold for 3, 2. Now keep staying or extend a leg out away from center and return it back in. Repeat on the other side, reaching long, maintaining that core position, but also breathing underneath that brace. Let's do one more time on each side, lifting up towards the ceiling, pulling knees back to center, and then we'll gently relax for a second. Whoa.
Those hollow bodies, I love them.
I am gonna add on. So in a couple seconds here, we're going to return to that same place. You may do any one of those that you so choose, or we'll extend both legs out into our banana hollow hold. Here we go, start at the top. Head and shoulders connect, ribs to hips, lifting off the floor. Feet come up off the floor. Either one leg at a time or both legs extend. Toes are pointed, legs are tight together. Still lifting, you can hear me quivering, but I'm still breathing underneath that. My arms are just hovered off the floor here. If you want even more, you can tip your toes overhead. Let's hold them 8, 7, 6, 5. Legs are tight together. 4, 3, 2. Pull, returning to center, and then gently relax.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Awesome.
Next.
Next, we're going to stand up.
No hands.
No hands, is that the rule? All right. Hi-ya. We'll do a little crunch, our kid style get up here, and to tall stand again. Excellent. Let's stand with our 2 feet underneath those hips, just like before in that toe squat. But this time, let one knee bend and the other leg to stay very straight as it reaches out to the front. Leg bends, that's my right here, my other leg's out to the front. Then stand between 2 feet here, aiming to have that vertical shin in the front. But now, press your back leg forward, pull your front leg back, and sit back to where you came from there, introducing that pistol squat shape. Now, press back through the back foot, forward through the front foot, so that you come onto mostly the front foot, and maybe even test yourself with that back leg raise. Then land, toe ball, heel out the back. The back leg pushes forward, the front leg pulls into that hip socket to hold on to the balance. And then one more time, press through. Get your knees together the way I think Lauren's are right there, and then get tall on that standing leg, and without bringing the knee forward, clear the foot underneath. I'm gonna back up just a little bit. My left leg was in front, so this time, my left leg will do the bending, and my right leg will go out front nice and straight. Land toe ball heel, and just pull yourself so you're between those 2 feet. Then, toe ball heel in the back. My front leg is pulling back. My back leg is pushing forward to create that stability for this balance. Then, push the opposite way, so the back leg pushes back. We reach to the front, and maybe even a toe lift there and hold a balance. Toe, ball, heel on the landing. The front leg pulls in, the back leg's pressing forward. Breathe into that, and then press through to that tall front leg. Now get those knees together, tall on the standing leg with a squeezing bum cheek, and then press the leg underneath again, and at our shake. I'll continue some of those pistol squat progressions here as Lauren introduces some of our zoo animals here, and I wonder what kind of animal that is.
I don't actually really know. So
the maestro animal, maybe, I don't know.
Maybe it's my crow. That we'll be getting to in a couple minutes.
Okay.
But first, we'll be exploring our elephant. Let's explore our elephant crawl in the traditional sense, and then we're going to become a 3-point elephant. Stay tuned.
Nice.
We'll get to the floor via our forward fold, which means our feet are underneath us. Our chin will gently tuck. We'll start flexing on that upper spine first. It'll come up and over the belly button. We'll continue rolling forward, taking our time. Let's hang out here for a couple seconds, just dangling. Now gently bend your knees and then lightly straighten them. And then bend your knees and gently straighten them. And one last time, bending those knees, and we'll walk forward into our bear hover position, which is knees bent just off the floor, hands under shoulders, toes tucked. I want you to tip your tailbone to the ceiling and then lift your hips in the air, keeping that spine position. Breathe and hold. Come back down to that bear hover. Let's re-tip the tailbone to the ceiling, and one more time, lift into that elephant. This time, for about 4 steps, let's take our opposite hand and foot, stepping in the forward pattern. We're trying to keep that extension through that low back as we walk. And now let's go back for 4 steps. Using the floor, flicking the floor away, and then return to where you started and just come down to your hands and knees. Maybe you continue doing that elephant crawl. Or this time, what we're going to do is we'll be lifting a single leg up, reaching towards the sky, preparing for some handstands in our future. Tailbone tips to the ceiling, hips lift up into the air. We're going to start this from our tripod position, from our elephant, and slowly flick the floor away with a single leg, reaching it up to the sky. Right now, let's have our hips square to the floor. That might mean your leg doesn't reach as far, but that's okay. Now place it down, keep that tip of the hips towards the ceiling, and the other leg. Flick. Reach that leg to the sky. Square up, breathe, and down. One more time each side. Knees stay straight as you reach. Hips up, breathe, and place down. I am ideally trying to keep my back heel towards the floor. It's tough. And then foot comes back down. Let's walk our hands to our feet with straight legs and stack ourselves up all the way to tall. Hair is last.
And toss it back. Return to the single leg squat variations with me. Feet are underneath of those hips, breathing nice and tall. Let's pull a single leg up to the ankle position here. Open it to the side, but then bring it back to the front. Avoid the daylight between those legs. From there, we'll do our single leg squat down as if there's that wall behind us and hang out. Could you pull up the elevated leg a little higher in order to get a little bit lower on that standing leg? Then press through, squeeze your bum, finish tall. Repeat one more time as we go down. Think lifting the flexed hip up even higher. Holding for time and press through, finishing tall. Now as the foot touches the floor, press those hips through, full bum squeezes, and fully enjoy a little shake and a wiggle after. Next, pull up to the ankle on the other side. Open it to the side once, but then take away that daylight and hug that center line. Knee goes over the toe, sitting down as if there's a wall behind us. And now that we're down here, lift, even if it's in your imagination, this hip higher, and then extend through, finishing tall. Repeating again, this time the tailbone tips back like cow. We lift that knee up higher and higher, even if it's in our imagination again. Hang out, create stress in that position, and then hang on to that balance, extend through, and then foot down. Squeeze your butt cheeks, and again, a shake and a wiggle. More squats in a second with me, but back to Lauren.
Excellent. All right, we reached to the ceiling. Now we have to bring that leg up to the front. So we'll explore our plank position and go from there. Chop your hips into your hinge this time, pushing your hips back. Next, we'll walk out into our regular plank position. So that's our hands underneath our shoulders, our hips in line. Let's just hold this and squeeze our cheeks and pull our shoulders down. Now we'll take a single leg, flick the floor away, bring that knee up towards that tricep elbow and hold. 3, 2, place back down. Flick, this is in preparation for our crow. So try to get that elbow to touch your tricep and back down. Breathe, repeat. Lift and hold for 3, 2, and back. Flick, lift, hold, and breathe. This time, you're gonna bring one foot up beside your hand, and then you're gonna bring your second foot up beside your hand. Could you hang out in that low squat with your heels heavy? It might be this low, it might be this low, it might be this low. Wherever you are, press through to tall. Whew.
So tall. I didn't think we'd come back to our pistol squat so soon, but don't worry. We have way more ideas to work through here. Take your feet underneath of those hips. Pull yourself to your flamingo stance here down low. First, let's go that knee over toe. You've been there before. This time, let's stand up nice and tall. And then perhaps with that balance aid at your side, find that first rise on one foot today. The knee is straight, and we'll slow it down with control. 2 repetitions each here, repeating again as we descend the tailbones like a cow with the hip flexing on the non-contact floor side. Then extend that hip through, firmly squeeze the butt cheek, pull up those kneecaps, hold that balance for about a 4-second round here, and then slow return to the floor. Now that leg that's up, when the foot touches, press those hips through. Enjoy that shake and wiggle after, and pull up again to the other side. Avoid the daylight between knees, so pull into the center. As you descend or go down in that squat, the tailbone slightly tipped back like our cow. Hang out, then press those hips forward. Slowly rise to that demi point or the balls of the feet there with a straight kneecap, and own that descent or that down phase. And one last time, tailbone slightly tipping like cow to make room for those hips to flex, and then press the hip through, stiffen the leg, drive down to go up. Those opposites apply here too. Hold for time, and own the down like it's easy. But those simple movements are probably not easy, but very, very strong. Keep working on them.
Put your foot down, extend your hips.
Thanks for all those cues.
Oh, I was so
time to go
focused.
crows yet?
I know. It is. All right. We'll be coming down. This is week 3 of practicing our crow. I like to enter it via that squat, so that's what we're going to do. In your squat position, start pulling yourself down, hanging out here. Next, I like to place my hands on the floor. Again, just as we did in our wrist warm-up, those fingers come down those callus lines. Then I like to get up on my tiptoes, and let's right now keep both feet touching the ground, but just get your knees as high as you can into your tricep armpits and lightly lean forward. Both toes stay down, hands heavy, breathe, and then slowly rock back to that low squat. You can take your hands off or you can keep them connected because we will repeat again. Tip forward, knees high in those armpits. As you come forward, let's flick one foot away and try to hold for 3, 2, place that toe back down, other side, hold, 3, 2, back down, come on back to that low squat, breathing. We'll be adding on here, you can stay doing the exact same thing, whether it's 2 feet down or 1, or we will try to lift off both those feet this time and hold that crow balance. So with our hands open, knees toward armpits, drift forward. Try one foot first, then try the other foot. Can we hold for 5, 4, 3, soft landing, breathe, hips come down. Take a second, depending on your wrist, your body, how you feel, one more time. If you want to just take a break and watch. Gripping the floor. Knees up high. Start that transfer of weight. The elbows will slightly bend. Keep that compression as we hold and breathe for 5, 4, 2, Soft landing on those feet. Hips drop, chest lifts, push down and out to stand up tall.
I didn't know crows were so much work on those legs, but here we go again in our single leg squat variation.
Haven't you checked out crow's legs?
I know, they're like little sticks. They're little sticks. Okay, so pull into your pencil-like shape here, just very, very tight to the body. We said don't place the knee out to the side, but this time we'll spend a little bit more time in that squat, open the leg, and return to the front for 2 repetitions. Pull up to the ankle, no daylight between those knees. Then descend in that squat. Hang out in that squat and open the knee towards the side and hold and close. And full stand, extending those hips with our butt squeeze. Repeating one more, the tailbone tips like that small cow shape to the back to make room for the hips to flex. Then we open to the side and reach that knee side and press the energy forward and then close. Press the hips through to finish. And could we then try another balance? 4, 3, 2, and slow down. Finish tall. Add the shake. Catch your breath. I did my easy side first. This side I know will be a little bit harder, so here we go. Pull it up to the ankle. Tuck your hips under like cat. Wonk. But do the gentle other cow tip of the hip. Then descend in that squat position low. Then stabilizing on the one, mobilizing the other. Open that knee towards the side. Close. Press the hips through to finish tall. Repeating one more.
Oops.
Down with control with that little cow tip in the hips. Then open the knee side and holding for 3, 2, 1. Close. Press the hip through. And with that balance aid at your side or just a little high heel shape in the foot, hold for a second, straighten that knee, save the balance. And if it is, like I was right there, kind of going down, try to come down with that graceful approach. All right, Lauren, back to you.
Excellent. We are going to spice things up today and try a little bit of our handstand kick-ups. We're also going to kick up in my favorite fashion, the tripod. If you would like to continue working on your crow, that would be a great time to do it as well. The tripod position here is our hands placed on the ground. 1 foot back, 1 foot forward. Next, we'll shift our weight forward and think about kicking up, and we're going to try switching legs here. So it could be as little as kick switch, kick switch. It could get a little bigger to be kick switch, and even a little bigger to be kick, switch, kick.
Starting small,
switch.
Working to those big shapes.
Ooh.
We're excited to get back to that handstand. So thanks for being with us through the crows. And as Lauren said, practice that crow, watch for some fun. We'll do it together here. Lauren, cue us up again.
Okay, in that tripod position, so the hands are on the floor, spread out, nice and gripped. Use those fingers as you do this, so have them active. Next, shift your weight over top of your hands and shoulders, elbows straight. 1 leg forward, 1 leg back. A little kick, whoops, and switch. Kick and switch. Let's do a couple more. Seeing how it feels. Get stacked over top of those hands first. Every time you kick and switch. Let's do 2 more. Breathing and flicking the floor away. Whew. Shake it out.
Shake it out. Let's get that balance aid. This will be the last repetition of our squats here for today. So with the balance aid at our side,
Thank you, kind sir.
stationary holds with the leg. Feet are in parallel underneath the hips. Pull up to the ankle. From here, the knee will stay in the same place and will extend and point. Hold for 3, 2, pull underneath. Stay low if that quad was cramping, or if there's a little bit more room to explore, climb towards that knee. The knee again will stay at that same height. We turn out in the hip so my kneecap is facing towards Lauren, energy shooting out of my toes, and then return to the knee. Repeat once more, same height, lower your discretion here, but last time, hold, breathe, ask yourself are those knees straight, and then pull in And as the foot touches, press those hips through, finishing nice and tall. We'll just switch sides again. So that inside leg is close to your balance aid. The outside leg is free to move. Pull up to the ankle first. Then point through the toe. Extend the knee. Pull into those hip sockets and hold.
Are we turned out?
And then
we were supposed
return to the ankle. Stay there if that's for you, or climb to the knee. Lauren mentioned that turnout, so let's turn out in that hip. So my kneecap is trending towards facing Lauren. My heel is towards the sky, and then pull under. Squeeze your bum. Recalibrate, and one last time, hold for 4, 3, 2, pull under. Finish tall. Shake it out, and one more time.
One more time.
Out to the side though this time. So we'll be tall. We'll pull up to the ankle, and this time create that nice triangle underneath the legs. Squeeze your standing leg bum cheek, keep that inseam forward, and point toes, and hold. And then pull back underneath. Stay low, climb a little bit towards that knee. Now the knee needs to stay at that same height. Less impressive if it doesn't. And hold and hold and hold and hold, and return. Take your breath. Squeeze your standing leg bum cheek, and then one last time, encouraging that turnout of that elevated leg. Lift it up, cramp up those quads, return to the knee, return to the front, and then press down, hips through, like it's easy. I hope it's not. Repeating one last time on the other side. That'll be the last exercise I have in mind here for this awesome Saturday ahead of ourselves. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's pull to the ankle. Open the knee to the side. Straighten out the leg and hold. That inseam is forward, cramping on the single standing leg. Return underneath. Then climb and hold. Squeeze your standing leg bum cheek, turning out in that hip, reaching to the side and holding, and returning. Breathing, recalibrating, and one final time here, out to the side, with or without that balance aid is an additional challenge. Knee wide, knee front, foot down, hip through.
Hello.
That's it for my exercises, Lauren.
Let's do one last crawl to finish up.
Awesome.
We'll crawl like a bear. Combine it all, get that core fired up before you leave for your Saturday. We will fold ourselves down. One last fold. Take your time. Forward fold. And then we'll walk ourselves out until all fours touch the floor, meaning our knees are going to bend, but they're going to be hovered off the floor. Our hands are under shoulders. Either stay here or with opposite hand and foot, take that step forward. Opposite hand and foot, peeling your hands up off the floor. If you had a bowl of water on your back, you're not spilling it. Now, could you go backwards back? You know you're not spilling your bowl of water by keeping the knees the same distance away from the floor. Breathe. No tipping. End up where you started, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Tip the tailbone to the ceiling. Lift the hips. One last walk together, feet to hands or hands to feet. And then slowly stack yourself all the way back up. Head is last to land. Oh, and breathe.
And breathe. Always breathe. Thank you very much for joining us here live at 8 o'clock on Saturday mornings or in the archive for our weekend workout where we invite you to play with your strength.
Thanks for joining us today. This is the Bars and Bells Studios. You can catch us on our membership page at barsandbells.com, on Patreon, or like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's always appreciated.
And share and share and share.
Until next week when we start again with our kettlebell practice Tuesday live at 4 p.m. Until then, take care, stay strong, and enjoy your time.
And we'll train soon. Have a great day.
Goodbye.